This is where I start my day.
The Varsity Sports Show presents the Summer Spotlight Series, featuring outstanding members of our community. And now, here's Vince.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show here on AM 1060 KDUS. And in that last segment, we were joined by Director of Community Engagement, an old pal of mine, as she said, BFF, Lynn Sue Cooney. And now, we're going to continue our Summer Spotlight series here into this segment and talk to Stacia, the Director of Volunteers for Hospice of the Valley. Stacia, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So, you know, we got the big gun that came in the last segment here and talked to us a little bit about, gave us an overview of Hospice of the Valley. Let's drill down and talk specifically about volunteers. Tell us a little bit about the organization, the number of volunteers, how long it's been around. Go ahead.
Well, Hospice of the Valley has been around over 40 years in the community, so we are the community's hospice, and we are so blessed to have such a great crew of volunteers. We were founded in the beginning with volunteer support. That's how we started, and that tradition continues today. So volunteers are truly the backbone of our organization, and we couldn't do it without them. So we are blessed to have 1,900 active volunteers, which I know sounds like a lot, but we do a lot. So we couldn't do the care that we do without their support. And we have a variety of programs in ways that they can support us. So we have over 20 opportunities for volunteers.
What brings folks to Hospice of the Valley to volunteer? I'm sure people have various reasons for wanting to help and get involved, whether they had circumstances in their own lives that where they were touched by a Hospice of the Valley member. But what are the volunteers like? What brings them, and what type of characteristics do some of these folks have?
Yeah, so we have volunteers from all generations, which is wonderful. We have volunteers that come to us because we have cared for one of their family members or friends, and they have gratitude, they want to thank us for the care and give back. We have people that just really believe in the hospice philosophy of care, and they want to give their time. Many people come because they want to support us and learn at the same time. So we have many students. We have lots of college students. We have a teen volunteer program. So we have high school age teens that are either interested in being in the medical profession and want to come and learn and give at the same time, or they have had a grandparent or somebody that we've cared for, so they also want to contribute. And the attributes that make a good volunteer for us is somebody who has a caring heart, somebody who has compassion, and is just wanting to give in a variety of ways.
You know, that's interesting that you say that, because the focus of our show is promoting young people. And so we have a lot of younger listeners that tune in that are between the ages of, 12 and 25, probably, that want to get involved in extracurriculars and community services and outreach. And Hospice of the Valley, it kind of touches a very sensitive side of us. And so I'd imagine that the young people that you do draw are those that have probably been touched personally by this issue in hospice. So how many young people would you classify as young people are volunteers in the organization?
Oh, that's hard to say. I would say that in our teen volunteer program, and with COVID, it's been a little bit different, but we typically have about 100 high school age teen volunteers. And then our college students, that is a lot more. It's hard to give you an exact number, but we are tending to see more and more college students join our volunteer team, which we absolutely love, because learning about end-of-life care earlier on in our lives helps us cope later on, helps us care for others, helps us have a different insight.
Well, and I find that, when you're faced with these things, and I've friends, family members that have gone through this with other family members, it changes you, because you then realize that we're all mortal, and it's a circle of life, and it's a part of life. And it makes you appreciate things a little bit more that we have. And so let's talk specifically about some of the services that if people wanted to get involved in volunteer as volunteers for Hospice of the Valley, what could they be doing?
Yeah, so we recognize that not everybody wants to work with patients directly, but we certainly have those patient care opportunities. We have both. We have patient and non-patient. So if you want to be a patient volunteer, we give you really good training, so you have good infrastructure so that you're prepared and well set to go out and do this care. We have volunteers that provide respite breaks for the caregivers of loved ones on hospice. We have people that visit and offer socialization. So somebody that wants to watch a baseball game, with a volunteer, a patient, we can do that. We have volunteers that grocery shop or run errands for patients. We also have opportunities in our palliative care units where we have volunteers go in and assist the staff with tasks and greeting families and just helping with a variety of things that support our palliative care units or our hospice homes. We have a Pet Connections program, which is a well-loved program.
Yeah,
so people that
that's
have
my favorite.
registered, I know, people that have registered animals, meaning cats, dogs, bunnies, and mini horses. So most of our pet therapy animals are dogs, which, probably isn't surprising. We do have a couple cats, some bunnies, and mini horses are also wonderful to visit patients who have some sort of connection with an equestrian past. So maybe they had a horse themselves.
I love the pets, I have to say, because they'll never say, Dad, give me money. Dad, take me here. Dad, I need new shoes. So I love the pets. Anyway, so how can people get involved? How can they reach you?
So the best way to reach us is on our website, which is hov.org. And we have a beautiful volunteer tab there, and that gives you information on all of our programs. And you can just go right on and apply when you click a link on that website.
So we have with us on the line Pamela Castro, who I believe is one of the, is she a volunteer or is she staff there?
Yes, she is a volunteer. She is one of our HOV Salutes volunteers. So she is a military veteran, and she visits our veteran patients so that she can honor them and thank them for their service to this country. And we recognize that military veterans, when they are facing end of life, it is a time where it is important for us to not only honor and thank them, but also give them an opportunity to talk with another veteran about their service, anything that they want to share, because nobody gets or understands a veteran more than another veteran.
Than a veteran. Yeah. So, Pamela, you there? Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm here.
Hi. Okay. So so Pamela, while we have Stacia still on the line, Pamela, so she kind of summed it up, but I got to tell you, how long have you been doing this? And it's probably been a very, very rewarding experience for you to share your stories and to hear stories.
It certainly has. I believe it's been 4 years now that I took my volunteer orientation, and I really enjoy. I mean, I told one of my contacts at HOV, I said, I feel like I get more out of this than the patients and the families themselves, because it is very rewarding. The people I meet and the stories and just, just having that outreach and that impact, it's just amazing. I can't stress that enough.
I'm not going to guess your age, but you sound like you're pretty young. You sound like you're not retired. So I'm going to say, the time commitment involved. So, this isn't anything where you have to volunteer for 40 hours a week. You give when you can, right?
Absolutely, yes. And, I try to work it around my work schedule, on weekends, evenings, and hospice is always so gracious about, if you can do it, great. If you can't, that's fine too. There's plenty, there's 1,900 volunteers, as Stacia had mentioned, over 1,900 volunteers. So there's always someone that, if you're unable to do something, there's someone there to, step right in.
That's got to be amazing. Now, and I'm sure you've spoken to veterans from all walks of life. I mean, some very very young, some probably a little older. Is there anything that struck you, any story that sticks out in your mind as one of your experiences?
I have to say, I actually just did a salute this past Thursday with the most lovely woman. She was in World War II. She was a Navy wave. So that wave is a women accepted for volunteer emergency services. So they backfilled, and my understanding is they backfilled and did all of the jobs, when all of the men were deployed. And she was just, 97 years old, but what
Wow.
she just had so much joy and energy. And she shared photos with me. I got to see some pictures of her when she served as a wave. She had her little cover still from her time in service, and was just really had so much joy in her life. And what really touched me though is as I was doing the visit and as I was leaving, she teared up a little bit when she talked about how important it is to remember the veterans, particularly the ones that never came back. And I think that's so true for World War II, and particularly, right on the heels coming off of Memorial Day. And
Yeah.
It was just, so that's probably I won't soon forget her. She was just, amazing. And her daughter couldn't have been more gracious. And I just had a lovely visit with them and was able to salute her and officially thank her for her service from Hospice.
Well, both of you are amazing, and thank you for coming on this morning as part of our Summer Spotlight series. Pamela, who a longtime volunteer of Hospice of the Valley, is part of the Salutes program for military veterans, and Stacia, the director of volunteers. Thank you both again for coming on, and look forward to working with you down the road.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My daughter may be calling you guys to volunteer. So hov.org, Hospice of the Valley. Thanks again. Okay, so guys, when we come back,